Hey guys, this is Chris Stafford, and I just wanted to say thank you very much for taking the time to listen to this presentation of 5 steps to more listings, greater commission income, and more time off. Let's have some fun and hopefully learn a couple new things to get you more listings and more income. But before we get started, I really want to make sure that this is really the right presentation for you. I'm really only looking for serious people, serious listings agents that are serious about becoming a stronger listing agent and really increasing your listing inventory and your listing pipeline. And how about increasing our selling price? Let's make more money in the process, right? And increasing your commission income. And best of all, how can we do all of this and take more time off? So if you can answer yes to all these questions, then this is the presentation for you. No question about it. So let's get started. I will wanted to talk to you about in the next 45 minutes, roughly, what we're going to talk about, and that is how to find new listings and increase the listings in your listing pipeline without having to make hundreds of cold calls every day. I learned early on that making hundreds of phone calls, I'm sure you'll probably agree, every single day is not something that is a lot of fun. Also, to increase our average selling price and to meet with more high-end sellers without going into a panic. I remember when I was really branching into the high-end market and how crazy I was about meeting them, what to say, and all that kind of good stuff. So I want to cover that as well. And also how to get more appointments every day with qualified sellers without begging them to meet. Let's have some fun doing this. And how to make more time working with listings instead of working with buyers. You know what they say, buyers are liars. I mean, the money and the leverage and your ability to do better is going to be greater as a listing agent. I think we probably all agree on that. Having a clear vision is going to be key, and having the energy to work with these high-end listings. And I want to talk a little bit about that without feeling scared and having no energy. And what to say to sellers at the listing appointment to get the listing without giving away your listing commission. I mean, that's something that is always helpful. And finally, how to have more time off during each week without having to work 24/7, because I've got some strong feelings about that. My promise to you, my promise to you really is a step-by-step strategy to help you get more listings, to fill your listing pipeline, to increase your average sales price, and to take more time off. I mean, does this sound like you? I mean, do you have some months with no commission checks coming in and you can't even pay your bills? I remember what that was like for me. I mean, I hated that, especially when I first started in real estate. When you're trying to figure out how to pay your bills and you're borrowing money off your credit cards and you're waking up in a cold sweat in the middle of the night. Man, that is just crazy, crazy times. Do you have times where you aren't working with any sellers at all and you have no future business and you're wondering, why is my pipeline dry, and what am I going to do for business in the future? And are you tired of driving around buyers to see properties and them not buying, not selling anything? I mean, are you exhausted working 24/7 and feel like you have to be on call all the time? I mean, are you secretly intimidated working with high-end clients? You know, when I first started working with the high end, I was petrified. I didn't know what to say and how to act and who to be. And not having consistent income. I mean, isn't that the biggest thing in our commission environment as entrepreneurs, as listing agents? Not having that consistent monthly income sometimes can be a killer. But you know what the real problem is? The good news is none of these are the real problem. The real problem is that you haven't made what I call the shifts. And once you make these shifts, you're going to have consistent monthly income coming in, and you're not going to have to worry about paying your bills and saving money. And you'll have the security of knowing that you have a full pipeline of listings. I mean, wouldn't that be amazing? And you'll be excited at the prospect of working with higher end listings, making more commissions. with each sale. I mean, that would be awesome. And have more time off to spend with your family and friends. To me, this is the key. A lot of us go into real estate as an entrepreneur so that we can have the flexibility in our schedules to take off time to spend with our family and friends, and then we end up working like crazy hours 24/7. And just have more confidence and more security knowing what to say to get listings when you're meeting with sellers. And just have more passion for the business. Remember when you first started in real estate and how excited you were? And many of us just sort of lose that passion because when you're working that 24/7 grind, I mean, can you imagine having all these things happen to you that worry would be just like a thing of the past? But listen, before I go on, let me tell you who I am. It's like, why should you listen to me? My name again is Chris Stafford. I'm one of the top listing agents in San Francisco. I've been doing this for over 27 years. And here's the kicker. I am still selling real estate right now. I'm still a listing agent, have been for, as I mentioned, since 1937. I'm just not some teacher in an ivory tower that doesn't know what's going on right now, because I know what's going on in my market. I know what's going on with the markets across the country. And so, again, I'm just not preaching to you as some teacher in an ivory tower. And my average sales price is almost $3 million right now. And in San Francisco, like many large metropolitan markets, it's just a crazy market. And so I just love having that experience to be able to share with you. I wrote a book called Massive Abundance, How to Create Passion, Purpose, and Prosperity. Still, I'm a CPA. I used to work with PricewaterhouseCoopers. I like to joke that I'm a recovering CPA. And without further ado, why don't we go ahead and get into what these 5 shifts are that I mentioned to you earlier. And I want to get into each one, I guess each one in detail, but before I do, I really want to sort of give you an idea of what the genesis for this whole thing is, this whole program that I'm about to talk to you about. And a lot of it, discovering the 5 shifts, came when my life partner came down with brain cancer. And when that happened, as you can imagine, they always tell you, don't worry about the things that you're constantly worrying about. Usually none of that stuff happens. It's these random phone calls you get at 4 p.m. on a Tuesday afternoon. Well, that's what happened to me. And when I got that phone call, found out about that, we were in the hospital for a year. We were, dialysis, comas, surgeries, the rehabilitation, chemotherapy. It was really crazy, and it really started making me think. It's the reason I wrote the book, and it's the reason why I'm coming up with these 5 shifts, because it really got me to think not only about my life in general, but it got me thinking about my business and how I can make my listing business much stronger, much happier, much more joyful, with a lot more passion, and quite honestly, with a lot more money, working fewer hours. So I tried to incorporate all these changes, and that's when I developed the 5 shifts. So why don't we get into it? So the 5 shifts are basically a way for you to really increase your listing pipeline, your commission income, and your average selling price, and taking more time off in the process. That, if I'm not clear about that, that is the whole point of these 5 shifts. So the first shift is really, it's really all about making small changes and having the mindset. Now, I know you guys really want to get into the details about getting more listings, and I'm definitely going to get into the meat of that. But one of the things that I think is just really super important that we all have to accept, and that is our mindset is the most important thing. Working on our mindset, working on our health, and working on being the best person that we can. This is so, so important. I can't stress this enough. And I'm going to get into the meat, but Anthony Robbins, the well-known coach, always said, that success is really 80% mindset, 20% mechanics. Call it whatever you want, mindset, psychology, whatever. We have to address this. And if we're not addressing this in some way, shape, or form, then I'll tell you, you're not going to be a successful listing agent. I have interviewed probably over 100 top listing agents in this country. And I'll tell you, one of the questions I ask all the time when I'm talking to listing agents, what is the genesis of your success? What is it about your success? And they say that having a clear vision and tons of energy in the morning is it. And before they even say that, they talk about mindset. They're always working on their mindset. They're working on their mindset with meditating, doing affirmations, journaling, you name it, prayer, whatever works for you. But everybody that I have talked to who's a huge success, entrepreneurs in general, but specifically real estate agents as well, you have to address your mindset and you have to address your health. And if you just make a small change, even if sitting down and meditating for 1 or 2 minutes, making a small change in your diet or if in your workout routine or starting to work out even small, that is really going to be the key that is going to set the tone for the rest of your day and the rest of your business. And that's the key. We have to set the tone using our mindset and our physical energy and our body to be able to be the best listing agent that we possibly can be. So I'm going to get into the second shift, but the first shift is something that is so key. It's absolutely something we have to address. When I'm talking about what can be changed, I mean, I honest to God, you could be bringing in millions of dollars when you really accept this fact, okay? And I hope that I hate to be stressing this, but absolutely. The second shift for me is really figuring out a way to make everything that you're doing about your business fun and simple. I think one of the biggest things that we do right now is make this business too complicated, and because it's too complicated, we're not having fun doing it. So I love prospecting because I think that prospecting for new listings can be a lot of fun. And when you have a great script that you can use, I mean, that is what's going to be the most important thing around your prospecting. And when it's something that's fun to do, you have a better chance of doing it, right? Can you imagine having fun each morning looking for new listings that you could accomplish, getting goofy with it, playing disco music or really rock music or whatever kind of music really gets you going while you're on the phone dancing around your kitchen? I mean, having the scripts to know what to say, keeping it light, keeping it fun, having music around you. I mean, these are all things that are really going to be make your business a lot more fun and a lot more simple. I really believe if you get this wrong, and finding and getting listings is just going to be a nightmare for you. I mean, I truly believe that. But if you get it right and make it fun, then you're going to wake up every day wanting to do more and more fun things to get listings. Can you imagine how many more listings you'd get into your pipeline if you're having a blast doing it? And the key is knowing what you're going to say and having scripts and knowing what to say to talk to prospective sellers. That isn't really salesy and douchey, excuse my language. I think it's really important that you absolutely know what you're going to say. And, for instance, one thing that you could say very easily, and I love using this, and that is, by the way, if somebody brings up real estate, you could say something along, we really have a crazy market in San Francisco right now because we need more motivated sellers. Do you know anybody that might be buying or selling? And if you use this script, say something like that. I've used it at dinner parties. I've used it, on the phone. I've left voicemails with it. That makes them understand what the problem is and makes them part of the solution. And people are really willing to help you then. So check that out. Because when you know what to say, and here's the key too, when it's congruent with your personality, and when you say it, it's just a lot more fun to talk to sellers when you got that script down and you know exactly what you're going to say. I love talking to sellers, and I have a great script about commissions. One great script that you can use when somebody asks you to cut your commission, and this works for me quite a bit, is just to say no and with a really big smile on your face. Here's the key that I have found in my listing business. When you have a big smile on your face, and sometimes even when you say it with a giggle, you can get away with almost anything. And just saying, no, I can't reduce my commission. Thank you so much. And start talking about something else. And a lot of times it's just a knee-jerk question that a lot of sellers ask you. And a lot of times they will just move on. So when you have a great script, got many more where that comes from, you can have a lot more fun because you're a lot more confident. And then when you're talking to them, especially I find when you're prospecting for new listings, and when you're talking from a place of being in service and not just begging them for the listing, can you see how empowering that can be? When you know that you're really helping people, that's the key. That's really the key to get more listings. So, one of the things, just a quick testimonial, one of the things I love to have fun, and with my coaching business, Kathleen and I just have a blast. We're giggling on the phone all the time. And this is her. She just said it when I first heard Chris on a podcast and was immediately drawn to his calm and joyful personality. That's a really nice way of saying that I am a very goofy ass person. He seemed to have this real estate thing done. I wanted to know his secret, got into my program, and she is a perfect example of that mindset is the most important thing, that if we're going to win at this business and ultimately in life. Now I want to get into the third shift, and that is what I call the secret weapon. The secret weapon is really about using micro standards. Using micro standards in your business is the most powerful way to get more listings and more time off. And it does all these things while giving you more confidence and comfort in reaching out to listing leads. I mean, there's no question about it, and I'll tell you more specifically how this works in a second. But first, let's talk about all the ways you're trying to solve the problem of finding new listings right now. I mean, the old way is really all about, like I said before, calling 10, 20, 50, 100 people a day. I know real estate agents that are right now calling up to 200 people a day. Ugh, I mean, that just sounds awful. Spending hours and hours prospecting for new listings, which you're probably, I mean, I don't know anybody who else can do that without getting burned out in the process. I mean, to me, it's boring. It's hard to do. It's not fun, and it doesn't encourage you to do more of it. Can you imagine the dread of waking up every day to the thought of spending 2 to 6 hours calling and prospecting for listings? Ugh. I mean, this is why buyer's agents don't want to be listing agents, because they probably don't want to prospect, because, I mean, that's a huge chunk of time. And most of us don't know what to say to leads, once we have them, because we're not practicing scripts, or we don't have the right scripts, or the scripts that we do have are just really, icky, and you don't feel comfortable, you don't feel congruent with your own personality and what you're asking for. And then, of course, you feel guilty because you know you should be doing something to find listings. And guess what? You're not. And then you wonder why your listing pipeline is all dry. And then you feel jealous of other agents who are getting listings all the time, and you're wondering, how are they doing it? I mean, do you have friends or listing agents, real estate agents on Facebook, social media, and they're always posting new listings? How are they doing it? Okay, it's really all about the old way versus the new way. And the old way doesn't work anymore, and it sure as heck doesn't work for me, because when I was doing it the old way, I got really discouraged, burned out, depressed, because you just don't feel like doing stuff like that anymore. And you're always asking yourself, God, does this make sense? I mean, I talk to real estate agents all the time, especially when they first come to me, and they say, I'm just on the verge of getting out of this business. But what if there was a way that we could wake up every morning and knowing you only had to do a small amount of activities to find listings? What if it was really easy and fun that you couldn't help yourself but be successful? And what if there was a method to find listings that you could do even on your worst days? Even on those days that you're feeling unmotivated and you don't want to do any marketing at all. Here is the secret, okay, is micro standards. I call it micro standards or minimum standards. And you can use this technique around your entire business, especially for finding listings and prospecting for new listings. When you create micro standards that are so easy to find listings, you create more confidence, you become more comfortable doing it. I mean, I'm hoping that you guys make sense. And the best part is you're going to want to do more of it because it's easy and fun. Here's the deal. A micro standard, minimum standard, for example, could be something, for instance, calling your SOI, your sphere of influence. You know you should be calling your sphere of influence and asking them for listing referrals, right? I mean, that's one of the, the ABCs of being a listing agent is letting people know that you are in the listing business and that you are always looking for listing referrals. What if you created a standard that you're only going to call 2 people a day? Could you see doing 2 calls a day and having your whole business and doing that consistently, I might add, and have that be a habit? It's only 2 calls a day. Can you imagine if you did that consistently, that is really going to increase your confidence? That's really going to make you a lot more comfortable in calling people once you know the right thing to say. And guess what's going to happen? After, excuse me, 1, 2, 3 weeks is you're going to want to do more of it because you're getting really good at it and you're getting that you really want to do it more. I mean, here's the deal. You've got to create a minimum standard. I have some people, believe it or not, in my coaching program that are making well over $100,000, and their minimum standard is to call 1 person every single day. That's it. 1 person every single day. And then after a while, they want to call more people. But here's the kicker. You have to have this standard that it is ironclad. You have to do it every single day. I don't care if your dog dies, your house blows up, your partner leaves you, your husband or wife leaves you. You've got to make that standard happen every single day. That is the key. And this is what I'm talking about, is to find listings. If your micro standard was so low, that would make your business and your day a lot easier and a lot more fun to find listings for you. And do this every Monday to Friday. That's something, like I said earlier, that you could do this with your eyes closed. Can you imagine looking forward to actually hitting your minimum standards every single Monday to Friday? And I say Monday to Friday because I don't like working on weekends, which is another crazy idea. But I can tell you how to do that too if you're interested, setting your own schedule. But that's the key, is you have to do this. Set your standard, make it so easy to do, and you do it all the time. Once you do it, you want to keep doing more of it, and you're going to end up with a lot more listings. And when you know the right things to say, can you see how you could get the right listings? I mean, there's the key. I remember I got this great quote from Miguel, who always loved my micro standards, and he said it was like having bumpers on a bowling lane. I thought that was a great analogy. They keep you in the game, and if you don't do it, and if you just do it, it will knock down those pins. In our case, we'll make the contacts that lead to the contracts. Miguel is a rock star when it comes to developing minimum standards or micro standards. So really take that to heart. Now let's recap so far what we've covered. We've covered why making small changes to your health and your mindset can dramatically increase your chances of finding more listings. And we've covered how to make work and finding those listings a lot more fun and a lot more simple. And we hit on the secret weapon of micro standards to find the right listings for us. Now let's get into the 4th shift. The 4th shift is working the higher end. So now you have 1 and 2 with an amazing body and mind, and you know what you're going to say and do and how to make listings fun and simple. And you have the secret weapon of micro standards to make getting listings happen right now. So what could make it better? How about working with more expensive houses to make more money faster? That would be super cool, don't you think? I mean, we could hit our goals a lot more faster if we're working with higher end listings. And do you know that working with higher end listings is really easy to do? I mean, a lot of times it has to do with our mindset that we don't know what to say to them, we don't know how to be with them, how to act with them. And once you know what to say and what to be and what to do, that is really the key. And you know what, everybody, I have to tell you that working with the higher end clientele is really super easy. I mean, everyone tells you that working with them is really scary and difficult, but can you imagine the commission checks that you would get? I mean, your biggest worries would be gone, right? Financially, that's for sure. And frequently, the higher end has so many people that help them, like attorneys, CPAs, tax accountants, that you're normally working with them. So that makes it a lot easier to do. I remember when I was working with Tyler, and he and I were talking, and when his first week, he did an amazing job employing all of these things, steps one, two, and three, or the shifts one, two, and three, I should say. And during that time, he set up 3 listing appointments and received an $11.5 million listing in Northern California. Plus, he just knocked it out of the park with really implementing these techniques. Tyler just did an amazing job. But again, working with the high end is not only going to get you more money, but these people, once you know what to say and how to act, you're definitely going to hit your goals a lot faster. Um, so, like Tyler discovered, working with the high end can be super satisfying. It can allow you to hit your income goals a lot faster. And with the right mindset, it's not scary and it can be a lot easier. My high end clients are some of the nicest, sweetest people to work with. And that's the truth. And quite frankly, I'd rather work on fewer deals and make more money than have to work, and sell 1,000 homes a day, or excuse me, 1,000 homes a day, 1,000 homes a year to, make my goals happen. But let's finally get into the fifth shift. The fifth shift is really to invest in mentoring. All business people should have a mentor. When I first went into real estate back 25 years ago, 27 years ago, whatever it was, I got a coach immediately because I knew the value of having a coach right up front that was going to cut my learning curve and help me make money a lot faster. And if you're really committed to being the best entrepreneur that you can be and getting lots of listings and making crazy amounts of money and taking time off for yourself, then a mentor is really going to make it happen faster for you. I say this all the time. You can go it alone, but it's going to take you 10 times longer to achieve your goals. I've had one, as I mentioned. I still, to this day, have a business coach. I've had one for the past 25 plus years. And I'm telling you, I don't regret 1 minute or $1 spent on it because it brings you new ideas. And the big thing is the accountability. I mean, there are ideas in your head right now that you probably wouldn't have been there if you hadn't really made the time for this webinar, which I really appreciate. It's all about your attitude, changing your behavior, putting that into action, and then results come and your performance is on fire. There's no question about it. And that's what having a mentor or a coach can do for you. I personally, gosh, I I was just looking at this the other day. I've probably spent over $50,000 in mentoring. Uh, when I first started, it was a big decision. When I first started in real estate, back in what was this, the 1990s, I was paying $1,000 a month. $1,000 a month back in the 1990s is and still is, that's a lot of money to pay a real estate coach. The best decision I ever made. I made my first commission check from my first listing within 45 days. And now I'm averaging selling homes over almost at around $3 million and hitting all my goals. It's just amazing. Like I said, my investment is paid for itself 10 times over. So the key is find the best mentor out there and spend whatever it takes to work with them. You know, I would love to work with you, but even if it's not me, definitely find somebody to help you. I always love this quote. If you had to cross a minefield, you probably wouldn't do it by yourself. You'd get someone who's done it dozens of times, who knows the how to get across safely and quickly. Growing your real estate business to me is like crossing a minefield. A minefield. So today, I promised how to help you find new listings to fill your listing pipeline without making hundreds of calls a day. Definitely use your micro standards to do that. How to increase your average sales price and to meet with more high-end sellers without going into a panic. It's all about your mindset and having the right scripts. And how to get more listing appointments every day with qualified sellers without begging them to meet. And how to make more time for working with listings instead of working with buyers who are never going to buy, that are just in your car to see the city. I also promised to help you deliver a clear vision and have unbelievable energy to work with high-end listings without feeling scared and with no energy. And also what to say to sellers at the listing appointment to get the listing without giving away your listing commission. Like I said, all you got to do is say no. But I have some other scripts as well too if you're interested. And finally, how to have more time off during the week and how to take and not have to work 24/7. I mean, here's the kicker. All you got to do is set the tone. Tell your sellers right up front, these are the hours I work. This is when I answer emails. This is my day off. This is the days I'm not going to work or I am going to work. These are the days I show property. You know what? The bottom line is that people don't really care if you're taking time off, and they will totally accept it. I mean, one of the ways that you can totally do this is by just setting the tone right up front. Set the tone right up front with your sellers. Okay? And this is what you need to win. You need to make small changes in your mind and body. That is key right up front. You have to do that. You have to make it fun and simple. Your whole business, use your micro standards, start working with high-end listings, really immerse yourself with magazines, network with private bankers, study the market, co-list with other high-end agents. That's really what's going to get you high-end listings so that you get more experience. But again, start that strategy to work with high-end listings. And then finally, really what you need to win is to invest in mentoring, okay? These 5 shifts alone are enough to propel you to a world with a full listing pipeline, with great income security, and more time off, okay? Now you have a choice. Either you can take the information that I gave you, or you can ignore it. You can work 24/7 with no income security, with no monthly commission checks coming in, worrying about how you're going to pay your bills. And that's what 80% of the real estate agents in this country are doing. 80-20 rule. 20% of the real estate agents are making 80% of the money because they get these 5 shifts. There's no doubt about it. Or you can continue to work in the low-end market making small commission checks. I mean, do you want that? You can stress out about having no listings in your pipeline and then hate yourself for lack of prospecting. I can't tell you how many real estate agents don't prospect in the morning. They don't do micro standards. They think they should be doing something else and they keep beating themselves up. Or this is what you can do. You can have tons of listings filling your pipeline. And could you imagine that means consistent commission checks coming in? And have time off at the same time to enjoy your family and friends. That is, to me, the key. What's the whole point of being an entrepreneur and being able to adjust your own schedule if you're not taking that time off? And do it all working the high-end market. So you're getting bigger commission checks. So here's what I have for you, okay? My team and I have set aside some time in the next 48 hours to speak to you personally about how you can apply these ideas to your business, and you're starting right now. So whatever your biggest challenges are, we have seen it and we know how to overcome it. I have heard it all, people, after being in 25 plus years in the business. How I can help? First, let me tell you who it's for. You must have a strong desire to change your business right now, your listing business. This is not for the tire kickers, and I'm really emphatic about that. You've got to be to the point that you are ready to change your life, change your mindset, change your health, and change your listing business. And you have to be committed to your success, and you must be coachable. All right? And you must be tired of the status quo. I talk to so many real estate agents that pay a lot of lip service to making changes, but they don't really make the changes because their current problems aren't big enough yet to actually make those changes. So if you're tired of the status quo, or you're tired of your current business making you feel the way you do right now, that's what we need to talk then. So if that's you, I would love for you to book a session with me personally right now. And for a lot of times people ask me, okay, why am I doing this? Okay, let me just make it really clear to you before I tell you how to get in touch with me. I have to tell you that after doing this for over 25 plus years, I get no greater joy than helping other listing agents really succeed in business. That's what my book, Massive Abundance, is all about. It's all about finding the passion, purpose, and prosperity in your life. To me, it's like a full circle, making yourself so strong in all your life areas that you turn around and give it all back. And that's what I'd love to do for you. I love jumping on the phone. I love talking to people. It just brings me the greatest amount of joy. And it's really super cool too to find listing agents that really want to transform their business and to see if we are a good fit. And it's just amazing. And if we are, great. And if we're not a great fit, that's fine too. So to book a call, I want you to go to theagentunleashed.com/apply. Spaces are limited. I don't work with everybody, like I said. And I really want you to do this right now, because if you fit the parameters that I just discussed, I really want to jump on the phone with you and get started on you transforming your business right now. theagentunleashed.com/apply. Don't forget to put the in front. And I have to tell you before I sign off real fast, I'll let you know that I am working with one guy named Andre. I know when he said, when I started in real estate business, I was looking for magic to develop my real estate business. Chris inspired and created positive energy. But one of the things that he said that I really loved, he says, when I found out there wasn't any magical way, but with Chris, one can become a magician and do magic every day. And I really love that. So are you ready to transform your business? Go to theagentunleashed.com/apply. Let's get on the phone right away and let's make it happen. Let's make the magic happen. Thanks so much for your time today.